The fact that I watched a lot of DNA videos, especially since I've gotten my results back, and I was watching a lot of them before I did mine and then after I did mine, because I wanted to see what the typical average result would be like for myself, as trying to figure out or guess what I would be. And I ended up being a little way different from the average. The average African American was like 80-20. I was like 90-10. So 80-20 and 90-10 European to African ancestry, being 80 or 90% African, 10 to 20% European. I was 90% African, roughly rounded up. I was 88 point like something percent, and then 10.1% European. Anyway, the point of this video is that I hear a lot of people in those videos when I watch the African Americans, they all tend to make this little joke or mockery of, black people say, I got Indian in my family, and I'm guilty of it. We've all said it. I'm sure we know somebody that said it if we haven't said it ourselves or whatnot. But what I didn't understand is that why it seemed to be like a mockery. And I was just like, why in the world does it sound like saying that now is like a joke? My mother's father is a Native American. His mother was a Native American. And they are red, brownish people with thick, black, wavy hair. I've never had the privilege of meeting them. I've definitely seen a picture of my father, not my grandma, my great grandmother, or sorry, yeah, my great grandmother. But I've had a picture of my father, my great grandfather rather. I'm sorry, my grandfather, my mother's father. I've seen a picture of him marrying my grandmother, my mother's mother, on their wedding day. And my mother is a spitting image of him. She's the reddish brown, the thick wavy black natural hair. Her hair was like stopping mid back when she was a kid. Even now that she's natural, she's up in an afro, but it's still, I'm sure when you press it out, it hangs about like right here. So anyway, I was just trying to figure out as to why that seemed to be like a mockery. And I think that because of the fact that over the last 20, 30, maybe even 40 years, when you look at the Western movies, they show the Native Americans as these white-skinned, I call them Eskimo-looking people. And I have seen that those are called Native Americans, but I never actually truly believed that those were the original Native Americans, because what I've seen and known of Native Americans were black people, were reddish brown black people. There are some people that call them Hebrews, and I'm not here to debate and say that they are or they aren't. I haven't researched that subject enough to say that. I personally believe they possibly are or were, because I've seen several accounts of the fact that when Columbus and whatnot had to come, well, not had to come, but when they came, they had to bring Hebrew interpreters, not only here in the Americas, but down in the Caribbean. When they met the Carib native people, they had to bring Hebrew and Chaldean and Shemitic Hebrew translators. So it's a large possibility in my mind that they probably were Hebrews, because the scripture says that we were scattered, and scattered doesn't leave any space open. If you take some dice and you throw it out in an open field, it's pretty much going to roll and hit just about anywhere that you throw it. So I did want to say that I am so sorry that this noise keeps popping up. I have a lot of updates for some reason on my computer, but if you bear with me, I appreciate it. So anyway, this video is to show that, just because we've seen the movies and the Westerns in the last 40 years or so, that Native Americans are white people, Eskimos looking people, does that negate the fact that the true Native Americans were black people? And I'm like, why is that black people tend to like just go off what they see in television and what they see in the movies, and completely forget, what the history was beforehand? Maybe they never knew beforehand. I don't know. But I just find that I look at it now and I'm like, it's not a joke. It's not a mockery to say I have Indian in my family, because it is very much so possible. The Native Americans were black people. And if you look at Webster's Dictionary in 1828, it says that the Native Americans were the original Aboriginal copper-colored peoples of the native lands that they met when the European settlers came here. And now it applies to the descendants of the European settlers that are born in the Native American, and that is born in America now. So I wanted to go over some quick little pictures because I just want to show some quick images, and then I have a couple of videos I want to upload and try to see if I can get this going. If I can't get them uploaded in this video, I would definitely put the links down below so that you can watch them for yourself. You may be asking, well, how in the world did they go from being black to these Eskimo white looking people? Good question. Even scientists and archaeologists today will show you, and I'll hopefully be able to show you in the video that I'm going to upload. If not, I've uploaded. Please click the links down below to watch for yourself. Do not be ignorant or allergic to knowledge and education. That the true, I mean, not the true, but The white Eskimo looking Native Americans are actually descendants of Mongoloids. Okay. And even when I did my DNA test on 23andMe, they had a section of East Asian and Native American together. I don't understand how in the world you can have Native American and East Asian grouped as one people, if they were not of the same people. Because Native America and China, Asia rather, not just China, but East Asia, really far apart. So I don't know why they would group the DNA testings for Native Americans and East Asians together in the same bracket. Like, how can you test that against each other? That's like saying, African and European. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? How is it? How are you gonna be African and European at the same time? How am I gonna be East Asian and Native American at the same time? Well, that's because they're Mongolians. So I'm gonna go a quick few pictures. I'm talking really fast because I don't want to make this video long. So bear with me if I have my little slip ups and whatnot. But I will say that I'm gonna show a couple of pictures and then hopefully I can get those videos uploaded. If not, click the links down below one last time and learn something for yourself. So I want to go over, let's see here. Oh man, did I close it out? Go over these pictures here. And the first one that we typically see is, the first one I have here is what we typically see as the Native American, okay? What we know as the typical Native American. Whiter skin, even though his skin is not that white, but you wouldn't look at him and say, oh, that's a Negro, that's a black man. Absolutely not. You would probably say Native American, or if you really thought about it, you'd probably say some type of Asian or Eskimo-ish type of something, or, something like that, but not a black man, okay? The next one that I want to show, this is what I've known Native Americans to look like. I don't know what it was about my household. Maybe we just knew some stuff. My parents just taught us. I don't know if because my mother was Native American, part Native American, and I don't know. But this is what I knew as Native American. Okay, and as you can see in the picture, it says a Olone or Ohlone Indian. If I butchered that, please forgive me. Okay. Here's another picture of a black Native American, the Patawomac people. And if you Google this, you can see, I think they reside in the Virginia area, these people, or at least originated in the Virginia area. Clearly, you look at that and that's a black man, okay? Like, that's not to be debated by any means or any shape or whatever. This little beautiful black young girl here, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. She looks like Megan Good to me. Beautiful silky black hair, beautiful brown skin, Negroid full lips, Negroid full nose. Just a very beautiful, gorgeous young woman. Here is another picture of a very beautiful senior or elder black Native American woman. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Look at her dark skin. And a lot of times people will say, well, dark skin means African. Not necessarily. You do have that dark skin gene that comes from an African somewhere, because you have your dark skinned Indians or East Indians. They aren't necessarily Africans though, you know what I mean? Like you can be dark of any, you can be dark and not be straight up African, okay? So there are some dark skinned Mongolians. If you Google Southeast Asia, because I had some of that in my DNA as well, you will find the original peoples from Asia are black people. black. Okay. They have the chingier eyes, which I believe they probably come from like the Khoisan or the Xhosa or Sand Bushmen, something like that. One of those tribes that have the lighter skin and the chingy eyes, which I tend to have. I look a lot like, and I do have some of that in my blood. But the original peoples of Asia are black people. Okay, they don't look nothing like what you see today, which is those white skinned, and this is not an attack on anybody's white skin, fair skin, anything like that. This is simply me doing a video to say I am so tired of everybody and everything claiming that whites were the original everything. We all know that's not true. It's not true. Believe it if you want to, but it's not true. Whites and anything that was white skin were the last to originate. Period. Well, I shouldn't say anything white skin because there are some albino Africans, but the non-albino people, okay, that are not originated from Africa, and I'm not talking about that common ancestor, we all come back from an African man, and that may be true, but we all have a region in the world that we originate from. Blacks in Africa, Asians in Asia, whites in Europe, you know what I'm saying? So to me, this is just a video to say I am so tired of hearing white people were here first, white people this, and white skinned people. No. It ain't true. Okay? I don't hate nobody, I don't hate none of y'all, but it ain't true. I don't like liars. It ain't true. So this video, this picture here is a beautiful black woman, Native American, full lips, full nose, even look at her roots, honey, Negroid hair. But what's interesting, if you look at her hand, she has this beautiful, looks like a headdress with feathers, and it's very beautiful. Even look at the beadwork on her clothing. It's like, it's amazing. It looks like South African Zulu or, something like that. Very, very, very beautiful, beautiful. But the headdress in her hand looks familiar to me because it reminds me of this. This ad here was done by the white Jewish, Ashkenazi, European Jews, whatever you want to call it, but the fake liars that call themselves Jews and are not, Revelations 2 and 9, Revelations 3 and 9. This ad was created by them, the ones that actually took us on board the boats and paid money to have us sent over here. It says here, find Hebos. But if you look at the attire, you have to look really closely, you can see that they have feathered headdresses and feathered skirts. Well, let's look at this. The Dance of the Mission Indians, San Jose, California, 1804. You can see the feathered headdresses and the feathered skirts. And do these look like white people? Not by any means necessary. Okay? These are black, Negroid, black people. All right? Look at this one. Feathered skirts, feathered headdresses, and look at that. Not only is the skin black, but the noses. Come on, you can't look at those lips. Look at the lips on the dude and the guy on the right. Come on, the dude's lips are poking out like crazy. You think that was from a European? Psh, bye. Look at this beautiful brother. Chaco, look what's in his hand, the feathered headdress. Come on now, come on, come on, come on, come on. And look at this beautiful woman and the little boy. Well, it says Native Indian man, but clearly that's a woman. You see her chest. But anyway, it's the same style, the feathered headdress or, just a headdress and the wrap skirts. But even still, the Native Indian man. Come on, please. So with that being said, I want to go ahead on and see if I can upload these videos, and I want you guys to watch it. and learn something. Toodles.